Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Magical Witchy World TV channel. My name is Star Ravenhawk, and my partner in crime is off to work tonight, so she was not able to be here. But we're still welcome and very glad to have our guest tonight. So if you hold on a moment, I will introduce you to our wonderful guest. Hi, everyone. And let me introduce you to Jasmine le Fleur. Hold on. There she is.
Hello.
Beautiful young lady. So, Jasmine, it is so great to have you here tonight. And we are all, whoever that's going to be here tonight with us, they all welcome you to the show. So glad to have you here.
Oh, so happy to be here. Thanks for inviting me.
No problem. And as per usual, we're going to do a little bit of introduction of Jasmine. So I'm going to read her bio for you all. So introduce her, okay? So, Jasmine le Fleur is the creator of Black Fae Day, as well as the Empress and Guild Mistress of the Fae of the Shade. Additionally, Jasmine takes her place as the Chief Executive Officer of Black Fae Day LLC and strives to give Black fantasy enthusiasts safe spaces where they can explore their own contributions to art, folklore, and historical and cultural influences in media, as well as bridge gaps that connects us all as a unified human race. I love that term, just simply human race.
Yes.
A true advocate for play and curiosity, she has spent the last decade sharing her whimsy in classrooms as an early childhood educator, as a crystal shopkeeper, and more recently serving her local libraries. And again, her to be able to access to Jasmine, you'll be able to check her out at www.blackfayday.com. All right, Jasmine, thank you again for being with us tonight.
Thank you. Wonderful introduction.
And you did so much that all of that is so wonderful, and I love, as you heard me say, I love that unified human race, because recently we got to wonder what's here on this planet, right? With all
Yeah.
the different races that they've all got us categorized as, and not just the human race. So it's
Mm-hmm.
awesome to see that. Okay, so it's glad again to have you here, and I know we missed you the last time, and that's okay because you decided to come back with us, which we really truly appreciate.
Yes. I
Okay.
am so grateful to be here.
So we wanted to dive right into some of the questions we wanted to ask you because I guess I don't know exactly how everyone referred to themselves, although you did mention the guild mistress. But over the years, what have you identified yourself as you, and then, I guess it may have been different names, maybe, and then you end up where you are right now. And what do you identify now as?
Oh, yes. Well, I have made up a name for myself, Jasmine le Fleur, some time ago, just because I wanted a whimsical name that people call me. But after Black Friday, my initial Black Friday in 2021, the next year I had a fairy tale gala, and it was a beautiful ball, and people got to dance and dress up and meet each other. There were knights, there were mermaids.
Oh,
Yeah,
that sounds so nice.
yeah, so there was a lot of education too. It was really
Yes.
beautiful. But they surprised me and had an inauguration. And so
Oh,
they called
wow. That must have been really nice. That's
it
awesome.
was. It was a very magical moment, like a dream come true, things that I dreamed of in fairy tales as a kid. So I had this whole court of fae and knights and goblins and ghouls knight me as their empress of the shade, Halcyon
Nice,
Crow. That's the name
nice.
they gave me. So that's my fairy name, Halcyon Crow. Um,
Oh,
and I use that with great pride since my community, gifted that name to me. And but I go by Jasmine LaFleur outside of the Fey realms.
Awesome, awesome. That is so nice. And that was
Mhm.
a great tribute to you that they did.
Oh
That was
yeah,
really nice. Okay.
very touchy.
So what brought you to this world of the Fae realm and all the different things that interest you with it? I'd love to hear that.
Yeah, I had always been a curious kid, like growing up, and I loved hearing folk tales from my community. I grew up in rural New Mexico, in Clovis, New Mexico. I think it's like the third largest town in New Mexico, but even then, it's really small in comparison to a lot of cities in the U.S. And I hear folklore about La Llorona, or I tells about skinwalkers and things like that. And my family was very strictly Baptist and very um, uh, traditional, and they didn't, let certain folk tales come in the house. But I was always curious about fairies and all this, and so I would read, read, read. That's where I would escape into books. And as I got older, I realized that Black American folklore was so scarce and hard to find. I knew it existed, but just finding the little bits and pieces that we have was very difficult. And so one day I was Googling and was like, where are we? I can't find us. Like if I type Black Fairy, it's all this folklore, from, beautiful Celtic mythology and things like that, or other European cultures. And while I found that just as fascinating, I didn't see myself, reflected in any of those stories. And so I said, well, let's start our own new traditions. And so I tweeted about it, just like, wouldn't it be great if we had a day where we saw us magical and whimsical and we got to frolic carefree on that day? And so I set the date for May 8th, 2021, and just said, use the hashtag Black Fae Day, and we'll just flood social media with positive images of us being magical and carefree. And it took off like
There
wildfire.
you go. There you go.
Yeah. And so now I see more content that has, historical reference of Black American folklore. I have books now in my personal library of,
Awesome.
African myths and tales and
Nice.
books like
Nice.
that. So it just opened the floodgates of all the things that I've been wishing for myself, and others are experiencing the same. So it's been a really beautiful fairy tale.
Yeah, yeah. I think what you like you said, it opened the floodgates of others who were out there looking to see where they are identified in these different folklores. Because I think people forget the Fae is not indigenous to one area; they're from all over the world. Every tribe, every part of the world, every peoples could tell you of their own versions of the Fae.
Yeah,
So I don't know why everyone seems to think it's only in certain parts of Europe, or it's all over Europe and it's all over the rest of the world. So
yeah.
it's not, it was nice when I first heard of it. I was like, this is amazing. This is wonderful. And that was through what's her name? Uh I forgot.
Sabrina,
Yes,
Fairy Best
Sabrina.
Life.
Sabrina Rachel, yeah. And I thought when she introduced me, I was like, really? I said, that is just so wonderful. So I'm so glad you were able to do that. You opened up a big wide world for a lot of people, and I am sure a lot of kids really enjoy that.
Oh
So
yes.
one of my questions coming up would be something along those lines. So I can't wait to hear your answers to it. Okay, so for yourself, how do you? Because now you've kind of embraced this realm kind of a thing. How do you make it part of your lifestyle? Maybe on a daily basis, or maybe just at certain times. Because to me, when you kind of embrace something, it becomes a part of your everyday life. Like, this is how normal it is.
Oh yeah, it's like I wish I could pan around so you can see just my living space. As you can see, the butterflies here, which were kind of gifted to me when I worked at the Museum of Osteology in Oklahoma City. They knew I was moving and was like, "Hey, you need butterflies. You're a very mythical creature
Oh,
yourself, you need
nice.
something beautiful. So I have butterflies here, little things I thrift that look whimsical, like storybook like. And so
Yeah,
I wear a fairy star every day with moonstone in the center, and it just kind of grounds me and makes me feel more connected to um, just nature and my femininity. So, there's little things that I do to kind of spark whimsy in my life. And I always want my life to look like magic because it is a magical thing to just exist. The fact
yeah,
that
yeah, yeah, absolutely,
stardust
absolutely,
exploded and became Earth and planets and things like that is a miracle in itself. And so I never
absolutely,
want to forget, that we are all stardust and magic.
absolutely, absolutely. You're so right.
Yeah.
Okay. So, about that kind of segues into me asking you, tell us a little bit about what's important to you, which you kind of delved in a little bit there, but maybe you could expand on some of that.
What's most important and always in the forefront of my mind is just the love of people and having community. I like I said before, my love for fairy tales and play and make believe has introduced me to not only folklore within my own community that I've been searching for, but it has expanded my horizons of the different identities that enjoy the same things I do. So Black Friday, it has allowed me to celebrate my own culture, but it's been a bridge to other people as well. So I'm always learning, I'm always connecting with new people. And I feel like it strengthens us, as a whole when we are accepting of one another and learning from one another. So I think that's the most important part and
Yeah.
the most rewarding part.
And that actually kind of again segues into this next question. Tell us about the community that you have formed and between yourself and others. You spoke about the, bridging the gaps with connections and everything, and even something about what you just said as well. So this is a great time to kind of tell us about that community that you formed, which from what Sabrina had told me and what you guys have seen, even on your pages, your page Black Fade Day, and even on your websites and stuff, it's so magical and it's so encompassing of so many different people and realms and everything. So it's kind of awesome. So I'd love to hear it some more from you about it.
Oh, yes. I'm very fortunate that so many people relate to this. Um, every year in Black Friday, we have a different theme, and I usually have a theme just to give people a starting point. Some people might say, I don't know what Faya is, or I don't know how to be a mythical creature. I always have a theme to get someone started. Last year, the first year we had a gala, it was land versus sea. So you could be a mermaid, you could be an elf, you could be anything within that. The next year was royalty. So I'm like, if you've ever wanted to feel like a queen or a princess or a prince, now is the time to dress up. And this
Sleep put,
year,
sleep put.
yeah, this year it was family reunions. So I wanted people to feel like, they were meeting family for the first time. And everyone embraced it. It was so beautiful. So the community, uh, the empire is so big and vast. We had people in the UK celebrating and
Nice,
creating
nice,
events. And that was very special because another big event organizer, Mystic Fate Events in UK, provided photographers and a space where magical people could frolic and get wonderful pictures taken. It was very beautiful to see. And then we had Faith Fest in Atlanta was inspired by the event, and that was the first time Atlanta had a magical festival created by Black fantasy enthusiasts and featuring Black fantasy
nice.
enthusiasts. So it was very beautiful. And all over the nation, from Vermont, where we had a former state representative hosting uh,
Nice.
a faith family reunion event in Vermont. So it has reached a lot of different people in different ways, from authors to politicians to photographers and seamstresses. It's just such a rich community, and we're always learning and being inspired by each other. So I hope it never ends. I hope everyone stays
That
connected.
it sounds so like you've created such a beautiful magical realm of many beings all having similar but yet different takes on it, but at the same time you open this up for them to see, gee, we can do this. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? You've given them that impetus, and that's beautiful, beautiful job. So what would you like to see further accomplished within your realms, or like, I mean, what you guys have already started? What else would you like to see further accomplished?
Well, I hope that the family grows, you know, and they continue to embrace this culture of kindness and acceptance, and of even education, educating people of our different expressions of how we feel our art and mythology should look, but also embracing. Influences around the world. We've even had Enchanted Asian Day that happens in June that was inspired by Black Fae Day, where Asian folklore and mythology is highlighted from all across the world. And so it's beautiful to see even other cultures say, hey, we have stories to
Yeah, there
share.
you go. I
Let's
was just
tell
like,
it.
but do you see, like, it like the way that it's always been expressed as, um whites mostly, well, that's all you ever see as fairies, except for
Yeah,
recently you've seen these different movies that are now including what should have been there all along, because it's been all along.
yeah,
um but now it's given the other cultures and races to realize we can express that as well. you know Pretty much, I think Asians have been doing it with anime. They just, haven't seen it as something that they can do. But this is great, to see it,
yeah.
expand itself like that. That's wonderful. That's
Yeah, and there's
absolutely.
always been expressions like that, like wuxia dramas in Chinese culture, and other types of uh, like sharing circles that people have had in other cultures as well. And I think
I don't see a circles in your contacts.
stop it, Siri! I'm not talking to you, but I apologize.
That's okay.
But yeah, like you said, I think it puts some pressure on people to not, be able to ignore us. Because when I first started Black Friday, I was told there's no industry for that. There's nobody that's doing that. Like, why would Black people be interested in fantasy? They've never been interested in fantasy. And I'm like, that's not true at all. I have plenty of people who love fantasy in my life, and they're Black, like me. They're my family, they're my friends, they're people I went to school with. So it was just very shocking to hear, well, Black people don't have an interest in that. I know because I'm in the industry. I'm like, hey, you're
That's a
wrong though.
silly thing to say, right? That's such a
Yeah,
silly, because when even with Witches Fest, we people have always said, "Well, what theme do you have?" We don't have a set theme, but we always tell people, when you come to Witches Fest, we want you to dress with the season in mind, whether it's sprites or fae or whatever
yeah.
types of witch or whatever it is that you want. It's a magical realm that we're creating. And that means anything, any mythical thing comes out of that magical realm. And that's what you represent yourself to be. So whatever you feel like being, that's what you are. And no
And
one
it's
can tell you differently.
it's very interesting though, because that's when you see the most authentic versions of
Yes,
a
yes,
person.
it's
Yeah, and I'm
it's the
like,
children. It's the children that really impress me, because to see
mhm,
the kids that feel like this is their day, really, because they're the ones that should be dressing up. So they
yeah.
come all dressed up with these things, and their faces are ready, and they are lighted with, everything about them is shining, that they're ready to do this. So it's wonderful what you're doing. I think it's such an impressive thing. I congratulate you, and I am, I think you're doing a really wonderful job with everything.
Thank you so much. And yes, the children are the best part. I love when a kid looks at me and says, "You're a real fairy?" And I'm like, "Yes, yes, I'm your
Yes.
fairy." or they're sword fighting and climbing trees. Or I know at our event here in Jacksonville, Florida, we had like a big black unicorn pinata, and the kids were going at it. And you could just see how excited they were to be surrounded by magical beings and to also receive little gifts and play little games with each other. It was such a innocent and beautiful experience. But yes, it is for kids as well. Please have the whole family, grandmas,
Yes,
grandpas,
yes.
kids, aunties, uncles, the whole family's invited to frolic.
Yeah, yeah. And just letting them know that the reason you see a lot more adults at is because they never had anyone give them that opportunity as a child. So now they
Yes,
have it. Even as an adult, they want to do it, and you kids are all welcome to come along and enjoy the ride, kind of a thing, That's awesome.
exactly.
That's
Yes.
awesome. They're lucky you came along and you started something, so it gives them that impetus to kind of get out there and do it.
Oh, someone asked, where is Witches Fest and when is it?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm really bad tech wise, so I'm not always able to look at the chat. So I'm glad you're doing that. Witches Fest is July 6th, Saturday, July 6th, from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. on Astor Place, the entire block between Broadway and Lafayette. So we would love to have everyone come. I will put a little commercial that we had. We forgot to change the date. We're not doing the camp this year. We'll do the camp next year, but we will be doing it the one day, Saturday, July 6th, and everyone is welcome to come out. It's free to attend. There are free workshops and everything else, and tons of vendors, all with magical things that they're selling and being there. So come on out and enjoy.
Yes, a frolic.
Yes, exactly. Come on out and enjoy it and dress. We love you to come in costume. Just be who you want to be. Your time to just go out and just dress in whatever realm that you want. It's there. It's a
Yeah.
magical realm that we create.
It's a very beautiful place to be. I know I've done it online, and everybody has been so warm and accepting. And the conversations are rich and exciting. So you don't want to miss it. I promise you'll be embraced with loving arms.
Yes, yes. And live performances and everything. So come on out and enjoy. You would
Yeah,
enjoy it.
it's a party.
Yay. Yeah, yeah. And we hopefully will be able to have Jasmine next year teaching something about the Fae. That'll be so nice. We're putting in dibs on it already for next year. Just
Oh,
in
it's
case.
New York, New York. I know. I
I
haven't
know,
been
right?
yet.
It's New York City. Okay.
Mhm.
So what events do you have? Actually, no, wait, let's back up one. What projects do you have coming up or thinking about next?
Oh,
Because I know you always have all these things going on, right?
yes. Currently, I am the host with another Fabi, my friend Letitia Jones, who is also the host of the Interspectional podcast. But we have a podcast together. It's a limited series, only 6 episodes that we're going to do this season, called Fabies and Friends.
Oh,
And
nice.
the first 2 episodes are out right now. It's just candid conversations with magical people. And that can be anybody in the community that catches our eyes. We have an author in our first episode who wrote a few episodes of an anime called Castlevania Nocturne, and it's on Netflix. And there was lots of folklore regarding Orisha and things like that. So it was very interesting to have a conversation about the research and the inspirations for that. And then our second episode is with another author. I promise it won't always be just authors, but our other author, she wrote her debut novel called Lore of the Wilds, and it's about
Nice.
fae and human relations in this fantasy world. And she was a self-published artist initially, tried to go the traditional route. Well, she started off trying to do the traditional route and finding an agent and a publisher, and then
Yeah.
deciding, you know what, I'm going to self-publish.
Yay, I'm all for self-publishing.
And in the process of learning to self-publish, an agent found her. So she ended up being published anyway, traditionally. But it's such a whirlwind almost fairy tale story. You'll have to tune in and listen to how it came
Okay,
about.
sounds good. Sounds
But
good.
yeah, it's
You
been
know.
fun.
Well, tell us what's the name of the podcast again?
Babies and Friends, and you can watch it on.
Okay,
You can listen to it on iHeart, Spotify, Apple Music, and Amazon Music.
there you
Babies
go.
and Friends, yeah.
Awesome, awesome. That's wonderful. Okay, so what about events? What events do you have coming up the rest of this year that
Oh,
you might know about?
I am not hosting any myself, but we will be a guest at Enchantment Con in at the end of July here in Jacksonville, Florida. This is the second year that they're having Enchantment Con, which is a fantasy sci-fi convention with different realms to explore. Of course,
There
I'll
you
be
go.
representing the fantasy realm. So
Right.
come see me, come chat with me, and have a good time at the convention. Yeah.
Awesome, awesome. That's wonderful. So, and everyone, just to remind everyone, um, uh, looking for Black Fae Day, it's blackfayday.com. I am really bad at the tech part, but again, it's www.blackfayday.com to check her out. So,
Yes.
Jasmine, we want to thank you for joining us today. It is, oh, tonight rather. It was such a pleasure. Thank you so much. All
Thanks for
right.
having me. It's always great to talk with you.
Absolutely. Okay, hold on for a word from our sponsor. Okay, so I'm going to correct everyone. The ad is still showing, but that Rhonda has not finished doing the new ad, which is just for July 6th. We're not doing the camp this year. The camp will begin next year, but everything else is correct. We have over 45 vendors, 12 free workshops, and vendors galore, and live performances, and by both singers and dancers. So come out and enjoy for the day, and dress, please dress in whatever magical outfit that you want. From we have babies and little pets that come dressed in costumes. We had an iguana one year dressed in a costume like with wings, fairy rings. So please do come out and enjoy the day with us, okay? So again, we will go on with the next part of our show. So check out our astrology time. Hold on. All right. So this week in your horoscope, this would be, let's see, considered one of the most exciting and could possibly be the best astrology of 2024 for every sign. You will have to look, you'll have a lot to look forward to right now, because this week began with the Taurus Sun forming a sextile with enchanting Neptune at exactly 29 degrees on May 19th. This allowed you to process some deep and intrinsic spiritual truths at the same time as it awakens your creative senses. However, when the sun, tied to our life force, entered Gemini on May 20th, it kind of shifted the vibes a bit towards something more cerebral and intellectual. Because Gemini, being the zodiac sign of, let's see, communication, adaptability, and open mindedness, it shows things in a brand new light. And as the sun will immediately trine Pluto retrograde in Aquarius, which will unearth plenty of polarizing truths, you kind of have to take things as they come, unfortunately. People don't like to face truths. A lot of times we kind of go, really, do I have to face that right now? Not wrong. You want to run away, but nope, sorry, it's going to make you face it, okay? So it did. So if you face some things around it, what was that, the 20th or so, yeah, it kind of came at you. But you know what, it's meant to give you and show you things in a brand new light, as that sun being, again, trining Pluto retrograde in Aquarius, which will unearth, again, like I said, the polarizing truths. On May 23rd, it followed with an extremely jam-packed day, Because, first of all, on May 23rd, we had the Venus in Taurus joining forces with Jupiter, the planet of abundance and expansion, which causes a lot of love, luxury, and romance to overflow. With an additional sextile to open hearted Neptune, this could be the moment you fall hopelessly and desperately in love with someone. Oy vey. Oh, I'm not that person. So everybody can fall in love all they want, not doing it. It's not for me. It's not for everyone, okay? Just saying. Okay? Anyways. Or maybe something. Now, see, that sounds more like me. Not the someone, but the something, okay? That gives you a taste of what life is really all about or what it could possibly be, okay? It could even lead to some unexpected windfalls, especially if you've been working hard to increase your income. So the full moon in Sagittarius will take the world by storm, bringing your vision full circle and opening your perspective, giving you that wild ride that you wanted to go on anyways, because financially, give me all the wild rides you can give me. I will take it in a heartbeat. Just saying. Okay. In the meantime, we had the opposing sun in detail oriented Gemini. And again, because it was that full moon in Sagittarius, it allowed you to kind of see the big picture and embrace all that you can learn just from the experiencing that whole thing. Okay. So let go of the ifs, the ands, or the buts, and go with spontaneity, sorry, passion, and express yourself. It will change everything for the better. Venus, the planet of love, also entered Gemini. All of that is happening on May 23rd. Or I'm not stopped yet, but that's why I said jam packed. Okay. Venus, the planet of love, also entered Gemini, inspiring you to connect with your lover intellectually. Again, that's why that whole part about, falling in love desperately with some people, again, you can take it or leave it. It's just me. Just saying. Okay. Okay. You can also connect. I'm going to say this part because this is what connects for me. You can also connect with your lover intellectually. Yay. That part I'll go. I know. I am so sorry. I am bad that way, but it is what it is. I deal with it as it is. I'm not sorry. So it's a sorry, not sorry kind of thing. Okay. Allow communication to strengthen your intimacy, as you remember that stimulating each other's mind is the best type of foreplay. Oh yeah. And once Jupiter in Taurus forms a sextile with Neptune in Pisces at 29 degrees, the whole world could experience a spiritual awakening. So this week, empathy is winning and cruelty is losing. You will see much of it happening around you out in the media, right? We saw a few things happen this week that kind of played out, and you're like, yes, cruelty takes a back turn. And got the shits knocked out of them. Okay, so that was cool. That was cool to see, and it's still happening from it. Okay, Jupiter sextile Neptune will help all of us choose kindness and understanding over cruelty and doing harm to others. Yes, Gemini season will continue to be a much more deep and emotional experience. And lucky Jupiter starts its year-long journey in Gemini on May 25th, which will allow us to use our social skills to network and attain our goals. This will mark a time in which we are letting go and making changes, which is why we should prepare ourselves for endings that will bring abundant beginnings, as some highly anticipated planetary alignments are happening, setting you up for wealth, yeah, adventure, and romance. Yeah, they can take it or leave that one. Also, on May 25th, Venus in Gemini will form a trine with Pluto retrograde, paving the way for intimacy, healing, and transformation in our relationships. Jupiter will finally enter Gemini, launching a period of intellectual growth, okay, social connection, and fast paced excitement that will be, let's see, a breath of fresh air for many of us, because that vibrant and lucky energy will still be supercharged throughout all the rest of the weekend coming up here, right? Okay. Expect to feel on top of the world as you pursue new opportunities and horizons. As a result, we will feel a true shift in the wind as we hunger to spice up our routines, socialize, and connect with others. So let's focus a bit on the intuitive astrology Sagittarius full moon. Because under this full moon, you are likely to find it, and it began when? Yesterday, 23rd, I believe, right? Yeah, today's the 24th. So, with that, hold on one second. Good. I don't want my computer shutting off. I kind of forgot to turn on the turn on the charger. I have it plugged in and forgot to turn it on. Nope, don't want it to shut off. Okay. So, back to what I was saying about the Sagittarius full moon. You will find it easier to welcome in an abundant mindset and to feel optimistic about the future. And where previously we may have seen closed doors or roadblocks, this full moon shines a light, allowing us to see a new way forward. Now, you got to understand something about the full moon. It goes for, let's see, what are we at? The 24th up till about the 31st. You will feel the effects of it. So you've got time if you want to do something, some ritual work with or spell work for that. Okay. So anything that was blocking your way or closed doors and things like that, utilize this moon to make it shine light into all of those areas and allow you to see a new way forward. To harness the energy of this full moon, most of it will be gratitude will be the key. By being grateful for everything you have, it allows you to lift your vibration and see things from a more advantageous mindset. Because I think people forget sometimes we are so busy looking at the things we don't have, looking at the glass half full rather than the glass, looking at the glass half empty rather than the glass half full. And we're not thankful for the things that we have. Breathing the fresh air, being able to walk outside, the health that we have, even though it may not be perfect. Be grateful for all the little things, the magic that people have, even with the Jasmine saying about the magic that she helped create and open up for people. Grateful for all those little things. Grateful for the events that we create or be part of. Just being grateful for those things. And the more we focus on all the gifts and abundance around us, the more we can celebrate where we are today and feel at peace with our current situation, the more benefits we will feel from this full moon. And again, all the way through to the 31st, you will feel that effect. So you've got until then to do any ritual to be grateful for things and raise your vibration level with that so you can create a new path forward for yourself. Work with that. Celebrate with that moon. And if it and anything that makes you feel good, get up, dance, put on some music and dance to it. Who cares? No one needs to know you've got two left foot. Just dance and no one cares. Okay? Just do what you got to do. Find ways to lighten up and to bring some fun into your life. Try new things. Catch up with friends. Okay? Of course, the friends that make you feel good, not the ones that are toxic. Okay? Just letting you know. Get rid of them. Sorry. This is that moon to do that too. To let it go, let flow. Get rid of the toxicity, and release anything. Release shame. Because people have a lot of things they carry around feeling ashamed of. Release those shame and just anything around that's preventing you from enjoying life and being grateful for the things that you have. Okay? One of the things that Sagittarius full moon has is a Sabian symbol. And that Sabian symbol for this full moon is the symbol of a little child learning to walk. Now, I want you guys to think about this. We often think of children learning to walk as being slow or even clumsy, and they fall down and they get back up again. And they keep trying because that's what they want to do, right? They want to learn how to walk because they're watching you walk around and they're like, wait a minute, I'm jealous. I want to walk like that too. And a lot of times they'll get up and run before they can walk. But you see that part that they do, they're not clumsy or anything like that. They are brave. Those children they are filled with determination. They have to believe in themselves. They have to know that they can, even if they can't at first, or even if they can't quite manage it just yet, they will keep trying. They're not giving up. A child learning to walk again, they're courageous and they're brave souls because they will keep trying. That Pampers or whatever it is will take the brunt as they drop down each time, and they don't care. They will get back up and keep trying. They will hold on to things. They'll hold on to you. They're shameless. They will do whatever they got to do because they want to walk. And what I want you guys to do is to think of that. Think about how courageous that little child is, that baby, that toddler. And we could learn from them and take your first steps in any situation that you're feeling like you're fumbling around or you're unsure, or you're not maybe heading in the right direction, utilize this full moon and let it encourage you to have that childlike determination, that braveness of the babies that take their first steps. Find your bravery and your courage and take those steps to try something new and to challenge what we believe about ourselves, okay? And we may have spent our entire lives crawling, but now is the time for you to take the steps, okay, in that evolution of your destiny. Okay, this moon will offer you an upgrade for you to take that leap. And the universal luck on your side that we have right now is sending signals to magnify our intentions. So utilize it. We also have, with this Sagittarius full moon, we mentioned Neptune, the planet of dreams, is here as well. It gives you a wave of support when it comes to making your dreams come true. So dare to dream big, dare to reach higher than before. And whenever Neptune's energy is strong, it is usually the universe's way of reminding us to trust our instincts, allowing us to think and feel differently about the world around us. If there is something you need to close the door on, again, remember what I told you guys, release it, let it go. And that includes anyone in your life that you want to let go. Let them go. Not necessary. You'll find that you'll feel a lot lighter and you move on. And trust your intuition as you do it. People might say, well, why are you doing or not having that person around you? Because, my intuition said it's time. They need to move on and you need to move on, such as life. Okay. Let Neptune guide you and trust your intuition. We may not have all the facts, but that's okay because you don't need them when Neptune is involved, because Neptune provides assurance that a new door will open. That's the reason why you have to get rid of all that other, the toxic shit. We just need the one thing that you have. Listen to your inner voice and intuition and be grateful for everything that you have. All right. I hope you guys enjoy that. So let's move on to the next segment. Okay, so what I want you guys to do is to pull out your tarot deck, shuffle it up a bit, and I want you guys to think about what it is I just talked about. Sagittarius full moon, Neptune being there and supporting you, what this full moon is all about, being grateful for the things that you have and that the things that could come to you if you learn how to do and trust your intuition. Okay, and we're going to pull one card. And that one card, if it's a jumper, whatever it is, that one card will be what you'll be pulling to see what it says for you. Okay, let's see. What have I got? I have got the Emperor. Oh my goodness, look at him. I think I pulled this card the last time we had the show. I don't know. It looks familiar to me, like I pulled this card the last time. But either ways, it's either I or Rhonda pulled this card, but I know he got pulled. And I always see him as being self-satisfied, centered, and also very protective. He's got his eyes on the people around him. He's got his back towards the wall of the mountain that's there. So he's got the mountain protecting his back, and he's looking and protecting with a sword in his hand, there to protect his people and what he's there for, that knight, that emperor. Okay, and all that he surveys, everything that's there, that he's grateful for. To me, he's grateful, he's everything, he's protective, and he's moving on at the same time. And he's doing a lot of contemplation and basically deciding this is the life that he wants. This is the life that he wants to protect, and this is why he has to nurture it and take care of what he needs. So I love this card for myself right now. So whatever it is for this full moon, I'm going to make sure I work on that. And again, be grateful for the things that you have already accomplished and what the things that you want to accomplish next. Make it happen. You can do it. The way that it's here with that again, Neptune provides assurance that a new door will open if you trust your inner voice and your intuition. Okay? All right. So next week, Do join us next week on May 31st at 10 p.m. Our guest will be Tony. I'm probably going to screw up this last name, but forgive me, Tony. Tony Mirowitz. Okay, I did the best I could with that one. Okay. I'm sure he will tell me how to pronounce it when he comes next time. Okay. And we want to say thank you to our guest, Jasmine le Fleur, and all of you in the chat. I'm sorry I was not as tech inclined to answer your questions in the chat or keep track. I'm really bad when Rhonda is not here. I'm so sorry. But anyways, please do like and subscribe and share on YouTube and Facebook for us to keep bringing you more of these shows. So I will see you all next week. Take care and have a wonderful, wonderful time. And don't forget to do a bit of spell work with the rest of the full moon time that's there. All right. See you guys next week. Bye.